Hi, welcome to Cooking for Busy People. I'm Dawn Hall, and I've already started cooking the ground turkey. If you want, you can use ground meatless and you wouldn't have to pre-cook it, but I have chosen to use ground turkey breast. Ground turkey breast is much leaner than ground turkey. If you buy those packages of ground turkey, do you know that they can be more fattening than hamburger? Actually, eye of round is less fattening than ground turkey. So make sure we use ground turkey breast only, okay? That's the leanest. We have a delicious meal today, the world's easiest lasagna. Even the kids can make it. And then we're going to make broccoli parmesan and a delicious punch bowl cake with strawberries and bananas. It's going to be delicious. All the recipes are made with 7 or less easy-to-find grocery store ingredients from the Busy People's Low-Fat Cookbook. And if you'd like to get a copy, all you need to do is call the number on your screen. Things will come up later. So we have a wonderful show planned. You won't want to miss it. Make sure, if you don't have the book, that you go and get a paper and pen, so that way you can write all the recipes down, try them at home, see how delicious they are. Make sure you write down the number on the screen, so then later after you test the recipes and you see how delicious they are, you can do them yourself at home. Well, I'm looking forward to making the world's easiest lasagna, and I'm looking forward to being with you. So thanks for joining me, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Cooking for Busy People. I'm Dawn Hall, and I'm going to make the world's easiest lasagna. It's so easy you could probably make it with your eyes closed. Well, maybe not that easy, but when you're cooking with spaghetti sauces, I really do not like to use wooden spoons or spatulas. A lot of times it will stain your wood and your plastic. So I like to use these kind of things, or metal. Okay? I've already pre-cooked the ground turkey breast. Are we going to use regular ground turkey? No, the reason why is it's way too fat. If you wanted to, you could use ground eye of round if you like the beef flavor. There's an excellent product called Ground Meatless. It's by Morningstar, and I really recommend that for vegetarians. Let's make a great vegetarian meal, and it's made out of soybeans. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 1.5 jars of your favorite low-calorie spaghetti sauce. Now, if you use your own spaghetti sauce, make your own, that's completely fine. You're going to want to use 1.5 jars of 26-ounce jars, okay? And I like this Healthy Choice and Ragu. They have delicious brands. Here you go. We'll just set this aside. I only had a half a jar in the refrigerator left, so I only used a half jar. If you're thinking, you should put a full jar in there. No, I didn't. Okay? We have 1 pound of lean ground turkey breast. Now, I cooked this in the microwave. A little bit of moisture came out, I drained it, put it back in the microwave, and just crumble it up. And look how fast and easy that is, okay? It would take you probably 3-4 minutes. And we're going to stir this together. Now, remember, if you want to do vegetarian, you could use the ground meatless, which is a soybean product. I like to make a bunch of these in advance. I'll make 2 or 3 and freeze them, because I have teenagers, and you know I just live to drive them wherever I can. And I can make this ahead of time, put it in the freezer, put one in the refrigerator, and then just simply pop it in the oven for about an hour. If I put it in the freezer, maybe an hour and a half, or hour 15, 20 minutes. Okay? Super simple. Super simple. Now what I did to make my cleanup easier, I went ahead and lined my 9x13 pan with foil. And I'm also going to spray my foil with non-fat cooking spray, so that way we don't have to worry about it sticking. Okay? And you know, you can get these 9x13 pans pretty inexpensive, and I encourage you to stock up on them. Keep them so that way you can make your meals ahead of time. Another thing is you can buy those foil pans. This is a great meal to take to a new mom, somebody who's sick. Great. You can have them done ahead of time. Put them in the freezer. Just wrap them up, okay? Let's set it right here. That way you can easily see what I'm doing. We're going to put a little bit, now what I want to put mostly on the bottom is just a little bit of sauce, okay? And what's so neat about this recipe is you do not need to pre-boil the noodles. Isn't that great? And they're not special noodles, it's just regular noodles. You need an 8-ounce package of dry lasagna noodles, or 10 strips, okay? And just put a little bit down. Now what's going to happen is the lasagna noodles are going to absorb the moisture from the sauce and the cheese. We don't want it big chunks, okay? It needs to be able to get, the lasagna noodles need to be able to get low to the sauce, okay? We need to make them touch. Looks good. Then we're going to put 5 lasagna noodles down, and again, you do not need to cook them. And they may overlap a little bit, that's completely fine. And you will want to break one of your lasagna noodles. There you go. Every once in a while I get upset with the kids. I'm like, I'm going to whip you with a wet noodle. Oh, that really scares them. My daughter said, oh, wring their little necks. You know what they said? Yeah, when you were little, you used to spank us really hard. Well, I never give the children more than 3 swats, and I've never wanted to do it hard because I didn't want to hurt them. And now they're like, yeah, we used to laugh when you're done. It's like, oh, great. There's my effort. Oh, well, you just try to do the best you can to be a good mom, Now, we're going to add 1 16-ounce container of fat-free cottage cheese. And you just spread the fat-free cottage cheese evenly over the dry pasta noodles. Whoops, excuse me. And what's so nice about this is the cheese really cooks up wonderful when we put the mozzarella cheese over it, and that's what we'll do next. By the way, notice how I broke that lasagna? Just break it down with your fingers over the garbage, okay? Lasagna is one of my favorite meals, and you are not going to believe how low in fat and calories this is. It's absolutely delicious. Do you ever think, is God using me? Do you ever think about that? God, I want you to use me. And sometimes you feel like, Lord, you're not using me. Well, a great way for God to use you is to, if you enjoy cooking, share the gift of hospitality with others. Invite them over to your home. You may think, oh, that's no big deal. Sure it is. Do you know how many people would appreciate a home-cooked meal? You don't have to tell them it's fast and easy. You don't need to tell them it's low-fat. Definitely don't tell them unless they ask. Some things are better left unsaid. Now we're going to sprinkle the mozzarella cheese on top. It's fat-free, but because it's going to absorb the moisture from the cottage cheese, it will taste absolutely delicious. There you go. Just put it right on top. Doesn't that look good? And now we are going to start all over again. Sauce. And it will blend together. A lot of times people are just too concerned about doing everything perfect. You don't need to worry about being perfect, okay? It's going to be wonderful. It's going to taste delicious. And I think lasagna tastes better as it sits. I love leftover lasagna. The pasta absorbs the flavor and the oreganos from the sauces. Now you can see I did not by any means do that perfectly. I just did it quickly. And I'm going to put my noodles on again, just 5 of them. Very fast and easy. Oh, this is another thing. This is where I put the last strip this time. Let's switch it around, okay? And put the longest strip down on this side, okay? That piece looked like it broke. Let's see if we can find the rest of it. Nope. We'll just break a little bit off. There we go. Oh, perfect! I know God's the only one who's perfect, but this sure does look great, doesn't it? Now we'll go ahead and finish putting our cottage cheese, our mozzarella cheese, and our sauce on. Then we'll sprinkle a little more mozzarella cheese on top, and we will be done. Does it get any easier than this for lasagna? Okay, maybe carry out, but that's about it, right? And just think about it. You didn't even have to boil your noodles. It was that easy. I was telling you earlier, asked you earlier, do you feel like God's using you? As long as you are alive, God wants to use you. He has a purpose for your life. Things that you're passionate about, things that you really are happy about or excited about, things that you don't like, use those to help others. I remember people, when I first wrote cookbooks, asked me to do inspirational speaking. I said, oh, thank you very much, but I don't do that. 2 places asked me within a week. And I thought, well, I'll tell you what, I'll think and pray about it. And I asked God about it, and he said, I want to use you. But God, you can't use me. And I gave him all these reasons, I don't know all the books of the Bible. I don't know the orders of the books of the Bible. I gave him all these unimportant reasons, and God kept saying, I want to use you. And he wants to use you too, right where you're at, right now.